See you later, Brandon Staley. So let's talk about it. What is going on, NFL fans? So welcome back to a brand new video here on the channel. So today we're going to be talking about Brandon Staley has been fired from by the Los Angeles Chargers. Before we get into today's video, let's hear from a word of today's video sponsor, SeatGeek.
Have you thought about saving money on tickets, whether it's sporting events, concerts, wrestling events, etc.? Use my promo code PhillySports at checkout to save $20 off your order. That is PhillySports, Philly Sports, to save $20 off.
Thank you, SeatGeek, for the sponsor. What is going on, everybody? So, Brandon Staley has been fired by the Chargers, and obviously, rightfully so, because the dude could not coach worth a damn during his 3 years with the Chargers. Now, that being said, Staley, at the time, as he got fired, has, leaving the Chargers with a 24-25 record as a head coach. And obviously this year the defense has been meh in certain categories. But overall, they're 29th in total defense, 29th in passing defense, decent finish in rushing defense, and ranked 18th in the league. But they're also 27th in scoring. So the biggest concern is the passing and the scoring defense is where the problem sometimes lies. And obviously it's going to be interesting and we'll talk about his replacements in just a bit. But Staley has shown he's not that great of a coach, regardless. The fact he even got carried by that Los Angeles defense under Sean McVay is one thing. But since taking that head coaching job with the Chargers back in, I think, 2020, I thought that it was going to be a disaster waiting to happen because, in a way, I mean, the fact you pretty much coached your team pretty much the season, right? To make the postseason and try to settle with a tie with the Raiders, because a tie, if you go back to that 2020 season, would allow both the Chargers and the Raiders to make the postseason. However, Brandon Staley and his coaching staff's play calling screwed their season, and the Raiders took advantage and beat them and made the postseason. And by the time, this is at the same time with the Raiders, you have Rich Bisaccia as the head honcho, so to speak. And then you go to 2021, put up a nice 10-7 season, and somehow was one and done in the postseason, courtesy of blowing a 27-0 lead in the AFC wild card round. And boy, that should have already signaled fire Brandon Staley, because it's obviously the dude can't win when it really matters. And the fact that Spanos was too stubborn to actually do it, finally gets to decide to do it this year after getting their asses blown out 63-21 to the Las Vegas Raiders, who, by the way, division rival, but who's not that much better. It really does show that the Chargers at times play down to the competition. And I don't think the Raiders even are a competition to them on paper when you compare to the roster construction on both offense and defense. At the same time, now some of the Chargers fans are wondering, who's going to be the replacement? I've seen, in terms of his replacements, I can see Ben Johnson could be an interesting case. I've seen, it's going to be hard to pull Dan Quinn away from Dallas. I think overall, probably the most one I think is going to be the hardest one is probably get Jim Harbaugh from Michigan. But I think overall, if I have to say, who is the more realistic choice to lead this Chargers team, it's probably the offensive coordinator Ben Johnson, if that's the case. I actually thought he's done some good stuff with Jared Goff. And granted, yes, the Lions have been in a bit of a slump. But at the same time, I think Ben Johnson could be an interesting point. And also, if you want to go the other route, you could probably get a high first-round pick and actually make a trade for Brian Dable. Talk to the Giants. See if they want to actually get a deal done. Because let's be real. What has Brett Dable done outside of making that fluky postseason with the Giants? Because I think Brian Dable, if it comes over to the Chargers, is going to have a good quarterback to actually who knows how to sling the rock and actually knows how to win games. And at the same time, you don't have to worry about the below-average QB play in East Rutherford, nonetheless. Without that being said, you're probably wondering, who's my top 2 choices for the Chargers post the Brandon Staley era? It's got to be Detroit's offensive coordinator Ben Johnson and Giants head coach Brian Dable. That being said, what do you guys think? Let me know what you guys' thoughts about Brandon Staley being fired. Chargers Nation, let me know in the comments down below your guys' coaching choices in the comment sections down below. That being said, I'll see you guys in the next video.